sharing to stream. Hopefully Inez has got our link.
Yeah, I did set her up.
Okay.
Jay?
Stream.
Was the tutor?
Yeah.
Okay, we're live, folks.
Hopefully Inez has got our link. Yeah, I did set her up.
Just so you know, everybody, there is a bit of a delay, so.
Do you want me to go on mute? Should we go on mute?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
So you know, everybody, there is a bit of a delay. So.
Do you want me to go on mute? Should we go on mute?
Yeah, that sounds good. I'll just give people some time. Hi, Dawn. Hi, Kathleen. So you guys have joined in on Zoom.
Can everybody still hear me? Oh, I can hear me.
You guys have joined in on Zoom.
Yeah, I'm getting a bit of a delay, so just so we know.
Yeah, I hear feedback coming from your end. I wonder if it's the YouTube stream. I'm getting a bit of a delay, so just so we know. Yeah, Oh, I think you did it.
Okay, am I good?
Yeah.
Okay, great. All right, I'm gonna just share my screen.
Perfect.
And yeah, welcome everybody. So yeah, just make sure everybody knows that we flipped on to.
Yeah.
All right, welcome to the folks that have joined on.
Slowly letting people roll in.
Excited to have Julia here with Oggi and Leah Vlasic's first webinar with us.
Bear with me, everyone, please.
All right. And we are just waiting for one of our panelists to jump on, but hopefully she might have been a bit delayed.
Yes. Where's everyone coming in from today?
Yeah, pop us in the chat.
Yeah. And I think we've got Inez. Hello. Okay. So I'll just jump right into it. Just want to say hi, everybody. I'm Leah. Thanks for joining us tonight for a fun, delicious pizza party with Celiac Canada and Oggi Foods. We're happy to collaborate with them tonight, and we have Julia from Oggi Foods who will be able to answer your questions about their pizza at the end of the night. Our registered dietitian, Nicole Byrom. Oh, sorry, Julia. Would you like to? You can say hi.
Good. I just want to say hi. I'm Julia from Oggi.
Thanks for jumping in.
Yeah, little introduction.
Absolutely. Our registered dietitian, Nicole Byrom, was able to put together 2 delicious pizzas and give you tips on how to best cook their pizzas and how to boost the nutrition. Stay tuned for the rest of the webinar to hear a special message from Oggi's and the way they recommend cooking their pizzas for a different flair. For those of you who have joined us live tonight, whether you're on YouTube or you're here in the Zoom, we'll have a 1-minute spot the difference between 2 Oggi's pizzas, and we'll pick a winner. And while we're picking a winner, we're going to have a Q&A session Whether you have questions about the Oggi's products, you can direct them towards Julia, or you have questions about celiac disease and the gluten-free diet, you can direct them to our registered dietitian, Inez Martincevic. If you want to say hi, Inez, you are free to do so.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining tonight.
All right, so we will announce the winner of the Spot the Difference at the end of the night. So let's hop in and enjoy Nicole's video first. Melissa, you just got some black screens in the way. That's looking good.
Hello there, my name is Nicole Byrom and I'm a registered dietitian with Celiac Canada. Today I am lucky enough to share with you some delicious pizzas from Oggi Foods. I learned a few things about Oggi Foods in my journey of discovery about the company. Oggi Foods comes from a family of pizza makers in Italy, and one of the family members was diagnosed with celiac disease. I've often found with companies that is often the origin story. Well, through research and development, the family made a gluten-free flour with the taste and texture of a gluten-containing pizza. Their texture is fluffy and chewy, and it is unlike any other frozen pizza I have ever tried. Oggi pizzas are, of course, made in a certified gluten-free plant and available all over North America. One thing I found very interesting is their tomatoes are from California, and the rest of their ingredients are imported from Italy. All of their products are non-GMO and, of course, entirely gluten-free, certified by Celiac Canada. Oggi's website is really easy to navigate. It will give you the name of all the grocery stores that carry their product in your local area. While Oggi offers a variety of different pizza toppings suitable for many tastes, we know that some of our younger members of our community have specific toppings that they like to add to their pizza. So for those busy days, we suggest taking one of their 4 cheese pizzas and doctoring it up with your favorite toppings. Today I'm going to show you some of mine. All right, I'm going to open up my pizza and we're going to get started with our toppings. All right, looks delicious. Okay, so this is the perfect base to get started with our delicious pizza. So what I'm going to do for my family is we like to chop up some veggies. Today I'm going to cook up some peppers and some onions, and I'm going to fry them in a cast iron pan. I know a lot of our community is iron deficient, especially when they're newly diagnosed. Cooking in a cast iron pan can actually help to increase your iron levels. Before we put these on the pizza, I'm just going to give them a quick fry. And of course, peppers are a good source of vitamin C. While we've got the peppers and onions cooking, I'm going to cut up some tomatoes that we can put on the pizza. And then in front of me, I've got some leftovers from last night. I've got some grilled chicken from the barbecue and some grilled tofu that we can put on the pizza as well to make some nice toppings and a good use of leftovers as well. One thing I'm noticing as I'm putting everything on this pizza is how delicious and thick a crust it looks. I can't wait to try this. Okay, so now I'm going to just slice up this tofu in order to put it on one side of the pizza and the chicken on the other. Good sources of protein to balance out the meal. And I've got a plant-based source of protein and, of course, lean chicken. I got so excited making the first pizza, I decided to take out the second one. I brought out a margarita this time, and I'm going to make this one the vegetarian pizza, and I'm going to make this one the chicken. That way it's going to suit all the needs of my family. I've got extra tomatoes and extra peppers and onions in the frying pan that I can use on both the pizzas. The veggies are sizzling up and making the kitchen smell delicious. We're almost ready to put them on our pizza. Half of a margarita pizza has 9 grams of fiber in it, which is 32% of your daily value. When you look in the ingredients list, you can see that the crust contains psyllium husk powder. This is where the fiber comes from. Our community often struggles to get fiber into our diet. This would be a great source of fiber. Place your oven at 450 degrees Fahrenheit and let your pizzas cook for 18 to 20 minutes, checking at the 10-minute mark. I'm going to close that up and wait for those. We're going to check it after 10 minutes to see how it looks. And then when we pull them out, we're going to leave them for a couple of minutes to let them cool down. They're going to be quite hot when they come out of the oven. Now, not every family has an entirely gluten-free household. In our family, 2 out of 5 of us have celiac disease. When you're putting gluten-free and gluten-containing items in the same oven at the same time, you want to remember to put your gluten-free food on top and your gluten-containing food underneath. And you always want to make sure you use the bake setting rather than the convection setting when you've got 2 items in the oven, one has gluten, one doesn't. So gluten-free on top, gluten-containing on the bottom. Okay, I'm going to cut into the tofu pizza because it looks so delicious. I'm really excited. So I waited the 2 minutes to make sure that it was easy to cut and cool enough to eat. That is so delicious. You would never know it was gluten-free. I wish everybody else could be in the kitchen trying to eat. It's so good. Thank you, Oggi, for making such delicious pizza. Hello there, my name's
Oh, a fantastic video done by Nicole. She is just a genius, and I hope you guys got some really good tips from her from that and are getting more excited to try some of the Oggi's pizzas that are in stores. So here we have our Spot the Difference. In just a second, we're going to put the pictures on the screen, and we're going to give you guys 1 minute to spot the difference. You want you have to work fast to try to identify as many as you can. If you are on Zoom today, I want you to put your answer in our Q&A box, so that way we can make sure, you know, we're having a nice friendly competition. If you're in YouTube, just put that answer in the comments. And while hopefully we are doing the Q&A with Julia and Inez, we'll be able to find a winner and hopefully announce it at the end for you guys. All right, Melissa.
Here we go.
Oh, sorry. It's a control click to out the image. I did it a little fancy, I guess.
Hi to everybody.
Oh, shoot.
Pizza
Okay.
lovers.
I think I've gone the other way. Let's see here.
Oh.
Hi to everybody, to all the.
Sorry, Melissa. I linked the image to the text there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Oh, that might have created some problems because we can only see the slides. I apologize.
Oh, hang on. I'm going to stop here. Hang on. I'm going to do it. I can do it, folks. Don't worry. We can do it. Here we go. Not a problem. We're going to share it.
Oh, great. Great. Thanks.
Okay. We have a minute going. If you can zoom in, Melissa, maybe a little bit.
Can we give hints? Like, you know, it's the whole picture, not just like the pizza itself. So if you look on the right-hand side, there might be something missing. I want someone to win, so I want to make sure
We're getting some answers.
Oh, good. All right.
We're looking for a number.
Actually,
how many things?
Let's talk about this prize pack, actually. Like, so Leah and Julia,
Yeah.
what's the winner gonna get? Like,
With it, you have the picture. You could show the picture. It's a Vespa pizza cutter. Vespa would be an Italian the little scooter that's very popular in Italy because it's a small town and they go around with that more than cars. And it represents the Italy really with the pizza cutter. We have a nice shirt, a crew neck, and a tote bag with the same logo in the back. And the other is, I forgot already.
There was a little tote bag, right?
Tote bag, the crew, and the, yes, that's it. I'm sorry. I was already, yeah,
We put
that's
you
it.
on the
Yeah,
spot. We put you on the spot. So
exactly.
all right.
Exactly.
Well, it
I'm
looks like
focusing.
I think I think we've hit our minute. And Leah, do you think you've got a winner in there?
Yeah, I think we might have a winner.
Nice.
All right. Well, I'm gonna stop sharing, and I'll be excited to see. And I'm gonna reshare the PowerPoint.
Thank you. I apologize for that.
All right. And now we've got a word from the Oggi founder. Is that right? Next.
Correct.
Okay. Let's see if we can get this one going. All right.
All right.
Hi to everybody, to all the pizza lovers.
No, hang on. I'm just gonna make sure we can share sound. Okay. Okay. Here we
Yeah,
go.
we're good.
It's summertime, it's time to barbecue and some pizzas. This is a gluten-free vegan pizza crust. Comes frozen, it's for restaurants, pizzerias. You open up the case, very simple. You pull out your crust, take out the plastic, and we're gonna top it with our favorite ingredients. I'm gonna make with a pizza bianca. We're gonna start with some extra virgin olive oil. Just a little bit. Fresh mozzarella, prosciutto cotto, which is ham, Italian ham, some basil, fresh parm. So now the pizza's ready and we're gonna barbecue this beautiful pizza. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put our barbecue at full power. We wanna reach the highest temperature possible. Here we got 600. All burners are on. We're gonna shut off half of the barbecue. We're gonna open it up. And we're gonna place the pizza on the side that's not burning. Here you got a flame, here you got no flame. Where there's no flame, we put it in there, we close it. What we're gonna get here is indirect heat. It's gonna cook like a pizza oven. We're gonna wait until the pizza is golden brown and the cheese is melted. And then if you like it more crispy, you can keep it a little bit longer and you're gonna get a nice crisp on it. So now this is about 7 minutes. And look underneath, look at that beautiful char. We're gonna have a nice pizza. Salud.
Well, that looks.
Yeah, go ahead, Melissa.
I was gonna say I look pretty good.
I know.
Yeah.
I've had barbecue pizza before, and I know that cooking all the barbecue with the nice char is really good. So those are some great tips.
I love that
Okay,
we've shared. I love that we've shared the the barbecue way, and we've shared the traditional like in the oven. So that's kind of
Right.
cool.
Absolutely. So we're at the Q&A portion of our webinar today. So again, we have Inez Martincevic, who's a clinical dietitian practicing at Sick Kids. She'll be able to answer some of your questions and give some tips about gluten-free, eating gluten-free, and celiac disease. And then we also have Julia again, and she's from Oggi's, and she'll be able to answer any questions you have about the products. Inez, I can start with asking you some questions just to get the ball rolling, if you don't mind.
Sure. Although I feel like I really want some pizza right now.
It's dinner
Give me
time.
your
We're
address.
hungry.
Yeah, right. It looks so tasty. I'm like, it's about dinner time soon too. So yes. Oh,
Give
Julia,
me
by
your
the way,
address.
thank you for
I'll
that.
send them. I'll send you more if you want.
That
If
is
it could
so
get-
generous of you. I will say that the pizzas looked really, really yummy. They
And
really
they
did.
are.
And I will say the barbecue is a great trick, especially when it's hot and you don't want to heat up. You're indoors. If you don't have air
Absolutely.
conditioning, if you don't have a fan that's working and you want to make stuff outside, the barbecue is a great alternative. I like the tip about turning one side off.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah,
know
I
that.
learned
So
that
I
too.
learned something new tonight. I really like that
Great.
tip.
I'm happy. I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Amazing. Okay, so just on the topic of pizza and safe eating, Inez, I'm sure people are wondering, what are like some things to consider when trying to order pizza out?
Oh, yeah, that's a great question. I do get asked that often because while it's great to have alternatives and options that you can make at home, sometimes, you want to socialize, you want to venture out, and you want to make sure that you're able to safely eat gluten-free out. I would say the way that I often counsel around this is I look at establishments as being a little bit different, right? Not every place is the same. So if you're going and sitting down at a restaurant, you're doing a dine-in and you're ordering a gluten-free pizza, it's a little bit different than if you're ordering from a takeout establishment where it may or may not be delivered, right? So if you're ordering from, let's just call them fast food establishments for lack of a better way of defining them, you might call on the phone and then do a pickup, or you might call on the phone and do a delivery. So I think the first consideration is figuring out what kind of establishment you're in for sure. Because I would say, in my experience, when you are at a sit down restaurant, there's a lot more dialogue happening with both the servers and potentially getting to know a little bit more about the process in the back, which becomes a little bit easier to navigate as opposed to when you're on the phone ordering. So, I would say in general, first and foremost, you want to know if the establishment even has gluten-free options available. That's like your fundamental, right?
Mhm.
And then what you want to do is you want to understand if the place actually has accommodations for safe gluten-free for celiac disease. A lot of places might have gluten-free options on a menu, but that
Mhm.
doesn't necessarily mean that then the pizza's prepared safely if you have celiac disease. So then you want to have a little bit more understanding of how the pizza is actually made. And
Mhm.
I would say one thing that I've also learned recently too is if you're getting the pizza delivered to your home through whatever medium or platform exists, you also want to make sure that the person doing the delivery is keeping your gluten-free pizza safe. So contained and sealed, and that you make note to the people that are delivering that this is for celiac disease. So that means that you're wanting to know about the competency and the knowledge base of the staff. Because again, just because a menu or a sign says that there's gluten-free pizza, it doesn't mean that that pizza is necessarily safe if you have celiac disease. So you want to be able to build a relationship and rapport with the place that you might be getting gluten-free pizza from, because you are wanting to understand how they function. You don't want to step on toes, I understand, and you don't want to come across as that aggressive customer that's like super needy,
Yeah.
but you also want to know, okay, great, like you offer a gluten-free pizza, but can you accommodate safe gluten-free? And what does that mean when someone has celiac? Um, the other thing that I often think about too, and I know this is a long-winded answer, but there's lots of considerations here, is you want to know when the establishment is also really busy, because you can imagine, like any of us in our work environments, when it's chaos and busy and you might even be flustered or stressed in the moment, things can get missed, accidents can happen. So I often also encourage families, when you're getting to know an establishment, go during non-busy times, go during off hours, when you're going for dinner, for example, or like if you're ordering a pizza, maybe avoid it on Super Bowl Sunday when
Mhm.
the rest of Canada is ordering pizza. Um, and even when you're considering it, of course, as you mentioned, I work at Sick Kids. So we're talking about children here a lot where I work. And there's pizza days at school. And sometimes it's just one classroom ordering the pizza. Another time it's the whole school ordering a pizza. So even when it's not a care provider that's actually asking about the establishment, maybe it's a camp counselor or a teacher or somebody else in the circle, even a friend, you want to also know, when there's a lot of pizzas being made, are you making sure that the gluten-free ones are done first and that they're done safely and they're done in a clean environment, and does the establishment know to make those accommodations? Um, So yeah, those are, I think, really important considerations when you're ordering out.
Yeah, absolutely. Those were some really great tips and some really good things for people to ponder. I have a little question for Julia, just from Dawn.
It's
She said she loves the caprese pizza, and they haven't
caprese.
seen the 4-cheese pizza one near them yet. And they ask, "How do you make your pizza so good?"
Oh my God, that is a very open question. I mean, Oggi does make the best gluten-free. I can go round about that, but it's all in. They say the secret is all in the crust, right? We make a pocket air and rice like the regular one, and I can say from experience, because I am gluten intolerant, that in all the years that I always said, I don't care. I don't even want to taste the gluten-free pasta, the gluten-free pizza. It's that one. I got tricked. I actually tricked my son. He said, I don't want this taste-free. And I took a good brand, put in the oven, and I tricked him. And when he ate it, he said, wow, that was a good pizza. And I said, well, that was gluten-free. And he actually saw that he actually said, wow, the taste. So I mean, I think the way they do it, it's our plant. Everything is, like I said, like home based and in one plant, and they're very committed. I think because we're getting bigger, but we're very started locally. It's it's grounded. We started on a good base, and the importance of the production and the quality is so important to us. We work a lot with the RA, the quality control. The caprese, however, is only sold in Costco. It's not out in other, and a lot of people are disappointed because they're seeing it less and less in Costco's. But if all goes well, in a few weeks, should go back. And basically, if you like caprese, you can like all the others too, right? Because you're just adding more. I mean, the caprese is basically a bit of I think the basil, the cheese, and you could have the quattro formaggi and the two we sent you that you guys had tried. Those are best cues. And the question to how we make it so good, I mean, you saw the video, you saw what
Yeah,
very I think Stefano speaks for itself, like whatever it's very authentic. And they took recipes from our origins, from we're all from Italian origins, and we all know about. But I guess it's
yeah,
in, and we
And it
have a
comes
fact.
from his family too. Like he has someone in his family with celiac, right?
Exactly, and that's how they started looking to it. And also, well, our plant is very free zero nut facility. And like Inez was mentioning before, when you go to a restaurant and you say, is it gluten-free? If it's someone like me, it doesn't matter if the knife touched. But if I went to a wedding and the bride got sick because she ordered gluten-free and she got up to go dance. And when she came back down, like, she was sick all night. I mean, you don't mess around with celiac versus intolerance. Intolerance is not even comparable. So I have those questions, like Leah was saying before. Yes, hi, I'm celiac. I bought your pizza, but I'm worried. Um, are you sure there's no pine nuts? Is there that kind of nuts? And I pass everything, even though I know. I go through my RA and make sure, and I also have some certifications that are valid in Canada, but not in the US. I think the pine nut certificate, gluten-free certification includes all peanut-free, but the pine nut is considered the trace of oil is considered in one state and not the other. So I'm very specific because, again, it's a disease, it's real. And that's what makes our pizza, I guess, good, because they really worked on the ingredients, and they're very like hands-on.
I
for
think it's
sure.
amazing because this is a Montreal-based company, right?
Yes, and
So I think it's proud Canadian. I think it's great to have such a wonderful product coming from a family that has celiac disease and is Canadian, and I think that's amazing.
Yeah, and the fact that we're all over the States and people are asking, how come you don't have another plant? I'm like, no, it all from here. It's baked and made and packaged and leaves from here. So we know the process from the pizza making to the delivery to the actual customer. There are so many steps in between. So for us, the process is so delicate. It is so important that we're very, very, I mean, just from when us that we go buy a pizza and you stop by and see somebody on the streets come back home like, oh no, it's hot, cooking and say, yeah, this was disgusting. But you need to make sure that the distributor has the perfect timing in the truck, the delivery, the guy when he buys it, and he has to cook it well to say, wow, it was good. So there's a lot of elements before getting to the good taste, and I think that's why I think I tasted a lot of them, and they do taste like paper.
I have a question for Inez, and I know I'm jumping in, Leah, but sauces. Our family loves doing dipping sauces, and maybe that's sacrilege with Italian, but I know sauces and dips are hypervigilant points for people with celiac disease, and I don't know. I mean, obviously, maybe making your own from scratch, but do you have any sort of tips on that, or?
Yeah, no, another great question. I kind of sort of also think of those two things as being a little different, right? So to me, the sauce, my husband's Italian, by the way, so the sugo, right? To me, that's the
sugo.
sugo. All right.
Yeah.
And the sauce, when you're making the pizza, I consider to be like the tomato sauce or like the foundation as part of it. So sometimes you can have like the white pizza, which is just olive oil. So one thing for sure that I encourage families to be cognizant of is that double dipping concept that actually increases risk of gluten cross contact or contamination, right? So if we're thinking about sauces and pizza, as we're thinking about building the pizza, that's one important consideration. Is that ladle that just touched a gluten-containing pizza also the same ladle that's going back into the sugo and then onto your gluten-free pizza? Okay, so that's one sauce consideration. Then there's the, like, as they say here in Canada, the marinara, right? That you dip the crust in. Okay, so then there's your sugo number 2. So that's your other sauce. And I think at some establishments, you're going to get the sauce that they basically use to make the pizza with. So has that sauce been contaminated as somebody's been going double dipping with utensils? Okay. And then they just took a spoon like Nonna, right? So Nonna goes and takes a spoon and says, don't worry about it, and just gives it to you in a little plastic cup.
That's right. You know your stuff.
Versus, and I've obviously love the culture. So, I'm just joking here, but then you've got your other type of sauce that then is pre-packaged in a container that then you also purchase. And I think sometimes individuals think that those are safe, but I always caution families to say it's like Halloween candy. You don't necessarily get all the ingredients that are in that small packet because it's usually purchased in bulk. Yeah, so there's old school classic sugo.
This is old school from my nonna.
Love it.
And
I love it.
And it's the base. And then when I buy it, my son's like, ugh, what is that?
Yeah. That's what you need to do. You need to build in that flavor. But
and we build it through the base.
And that's why the Oggi tastes so good too. But I will say, if you're purchasing and you're just ordering takeout, and then you're getting the sauce, you want to ask the establishment, did you just ladle the stuff that's all full of gluten? Or if it's separately packaged, did you package this? And if you did, has it been contaminated? And if not, if you purchase this package of marinara or sugo or whatever, can you check the big box for me that you purchased it in bulk so that the ingredients clearly are known to be safe to someone with celiac disease? So those are sauces. And then we've got dips. Now, the recommendations around dip safety is no different, but dips, I will say, are a little bit different only because dips aren't usually made at pizza fast food places or at restaurants. So like you'll get your like cheddar jalapeno dip or your
ranch.
Like your super duper ranch or whatever garlic, it is exactly, or your garlic aioli. Those are also typically pre-done. They're purchased at a lot of these establishments and then just dispensed, and you pay your 40 cents, or I guess it's like $7 now because inflation's insane. and then again, you don't know if there's gluten in that. So I always just tell people to ask the service staff, can you check like the box that you got it from, just so that I am reassured? Because a lot of these sauces, just like the sugo, it really shouldn't have gluten in it. It would be more of a contaminant or a filler or a may contain concern.
Or maybe the other thought is you just, if you are ordering out because you couldn't get the Oggi pizza,
Yes.
that maybe you've got a sauce that you know is gluten free at home, and you just
And
order
you
your
bring it with
pizza,
you.
and then you bring it with you, or you use what's
Absolutely.
at home, and you've obviously got to read the labels, because all those any sauces and dips, you got to watch out, right?
You
Yeah.
got it. Yeah. They may be gluten-free, they may not be. Yeah. And there's no way of saying all ranch is bad, because it's not about the ranch sauce being
Exactly.
necessarily the gluten concern. It's the person who made it, and what were the ingredients, what were the fillers, or what was the environmental consideration of where it was made.
And then you definitely don't want to have double dipping, so you want to have that person with
No.
their own individual cup or sauce. So okay.
Well, I was gonna say that's love, because I don't share my dipping sauce with anyone. So if you're sharing, Melissa, that is that's
Well,
a
now I
lot of
know,
extra,
Inez, when
right,
we go out
Julia?
for a dinner.
That's not Italian. Italians don't share. My mother-in-law does not want to give me. Do you know about tarallis?
Yeah, of course.
She doesn't want. No, only me to do it. She never is gonna get. She actually gave it to somebody, but she gave it wrong. It's bad. That's mean. But
Hey, you don't, it's like Kentucky Fried Chicken secret recipe, right?
there
You
you
just
go.
don't share it.
There you
Sorry,
go.
Melissa, you had another question.
Oh, I was gonna hand it over to Leah, because I think Leah had a
Oh.
few more.
Yeah, and I mean, if we're just past our time anyway,
yeah.
but we can fit in like a couple more questions, I guess, if
I certainly don't mind if everyone else is okay.
Sure. We'll ask one more question just to kind of round it off. I feel like this one is quite an interesting question. If there's any pizza toppings that you should have to avoid as someone with celiac disease.
Good
It's
question.
a great question.
Let's
And
hear
I think the reason is a lot of people think of food as being binary, right? It's good or bad. It can't be anything in between, or it's black or it's white, or it's one or it's zero. And I think when it comes to pizza toppings, what you really just want to be mindful of is there's whole, real, raw foods that we know are naturally gluten-free that you might be adding to your pizza, which is the safety consideration, versus toppings that you're getting from an establishment. So if for lack of a better example, everyone, let's just go with pepperoni, okay? Pepperoni is a common topping that a lot of people enjoy. That pepperoni is essentially a salami. That salami, there's hundreds and thousands of recipes to make a pepperoni. One manufacturer might actually use wheat as a filler, okay, or as a binder, and another manufacturer might not. So you do want to make sure that instead of trying to memorize what's a gluten-free topping, that you're asking the establishment that's making the pizza, are your toppings gluten-free? That's what I want to know. So I'm interested in a Hawaiian pizza. Did you get the pineapple from a can, and could there maybe be gluten somewhere in the can, versus did you buy the pineapple fresh and chop it up and put it? Same with the ham. Can't say that all ham is going to have gluten in it, just like you can't say all pepperoni is going to have gluten in it. Versus some obvious ingredients that I will say are naturally gluten-free, like vegetables, right? So mushrooms, peppers, onions, zucchini, eggplant, anything that you want to add onto a pizza, they're naturally gluten-free. However, at an establishment where someone else is making your pizza, you've got to also remember part of the culture of making pizza is the counter space and the flour, and it's going everywhere. And so while that mushroom or that pepper or that zucchini is naturally gluten-free, it may have been contaminated. So you also want to say, of those toppings that I know exist from nature that are naturally gluten-free, did you pull them from the refrigerator? Or did you keep them out in your establishment where they might have been contaminated by all of the other flour that's been, circulating? So it's really just about knowing before you go. It's a lot of prep on the family or on the individual. Know what you want. check online to see what's available there so that you can get some background, and then prep your questions to say if you want a caprese pizza or if you want a Hawaiian pizza or whatever it is that you want, that then you can go through those toppings specifically at that place and say, have you taken the steps to ensure? And if not, then encourage the person making it. Say, can you just get that yellow pepper that you have in the back then and chop it on a clean cutting board for me and put it on my pizza? And before you put it on my pizza peel, make sure the pizza peel, which I used to call a pizza shovel, by the way, for everyone who didn't know what a pizza peel was, because I didn't know for years. Okay. So you put it on the pizza peel, make sure the pizza peel's clean, and or if you're putting it in the oven, that if it's not a dedicated oven for gluten-free pizzas, that it's in a tin that protects it from all of the surface that might have gluten in it.
That's a good question, because I was going to ask about the cooking. Nicole mentioned in her video about making sure that it's not on convection where it's blowing things around. I guess like on a barbecue or in the oven, I guess the added protection is you could cook it on foil, or I don't know if you have suggestions at Sick Kids Hospital about, keeping things off potentially contaminated grills, and that would be my last question.
So those are the utensils, and those are very, very important questions, because families often will say, do I have to buy like a whole new barbecue right now? Of course they're costly. Do I need to get a new grill? I've been putting gluten-containing buns on this grill for years. And so, of course, trying to clean as much as you can, any of those grills is important. But yeah, to your point, Melissa, while the gentleman in the Oggi video, put on what was clearly, it looked to me like it was a clean, relatively new grill, which might have been dedicated gluten-free. For anybody who might be trying to repurpose, sometimes you don't need to buy a whole new barbecue. You just need to get a nice new grill where then you can say, okay, this has not been contaminated, because there's this misconception around, does it all just burn off at some point? And then you can use certain cleaners that can clean that grill if you're willing to put in the arm work and the scrubbing. Okay, like I know nonas will do it, no problem, but you need to get a really good scrub. You need to get like a good CLR type thing. You got to get that down. And then if we're talking about an environment where you have gluten containing and gluten free, okay, so like a shared pizza oven at a pizza establishment, the way that in a pizza oven, you don't have to be worried about that you might be worried about, as Nicole mentioned, in a convection oven. Convection, just for anyone who's not familiar, is when there's a fan blowing the heat and it's circulating to get more even cooking of your foods. That fan can actually take gluten that has deposited in the oven and circulate it. So even if you put your gluten-free food on top, if it was on the convection setting, if you didn't cover it, which you're not supposed to do with pizza, because then you don't get that yummy, crispy texture. You just get cooked, but melted cooked. So in that case, as Nicole had said, you don't want to hit the convection setting. You just want it to bake. And you want to get it nice and crispy as you like it. Some people like it almost burnt, and some people like it a little doughy. Whichever texture you like, you keep it in for that length of time, but you don't want a fan moving it. Same in a pizza oven, a typical classical pizza oven, there's nothing moving. So if you put your gluten-free pizza into a tin or like a pan, that then protects it from the gluten that has accumulated on the bottom of the surface of the oven, it's safe, right? So it's different strategies. Some people might just take parchment paper or foil, and that's what protects it from where the gluten was, in terms of there being a barrier like you do in a toaster oven as well. You just want to shield it. But I will say, around repurposing grills, you do want to try to clean it as much as you possibly can. If it already had gluten-containing products on it, you don't have to buy a whole new appliance necessarily, but you want to make sure that whatever surface, if your gluten-free foods are touching it, you don't want that cross-contamination exposure element to be there. So you want to make sure it's as clean as possible. Or if you're not confident that you can clean it well, and you can't afford buying something new, because let's be honest, everything's quite costly, then make sure that there's either a pizza stone or foil or something that's protecting. Even a cookie sheet works. I do that. I love cookie sheets because they're so affordable and you get them online.
Yeah, we love the pizza stones. They're awesome. And if you have one that's dedicated or at least super clean. So
yes. And they're
Great
easy. The
tips.
stones are easier to clean. So just use that. And then you can still enjoy using the barbecue you've always had and having it be safely gluten-free.
Excellent. And
Awesome.
I think we just all do we know where the Oggi pizzas are sold, Julia? Do we?
Oh, you're muted.
I'm sure you saw why I'm muted. My two dogs are like going crazy because I sent my kids downstairs and they're mad because they can't go. Um, what was I saying? Yes. So I don't like in the video that you saw, the dietitian wrote that there's a store locator. We're usually I mean the caprese was at Costco, but we're in some Walmarts, all the Sobeys and Metro. I don't know if you have Metros in no,
In
do you have
Metros in
Metro?
Ontario and Quebec, yeah.
Okay. The banners were pretty much in all grocery stores and a lot of independents, little mom pop shops. Um, the products, though, it's hard to tell which one is carrying what, but the four cheeses and margarita, they're pretty easy to get. And we didn't talk about our vegan SKUs. We also have the two vegan Americana and Siciliana. It's of course fake meat with it's our vegan line, but
Yeah.
it's still like our they're popular. They're popular in the States, I guess, because of the meat. I don't know, but us Italians, we're not crazy about fake meat. You don't make one of my uncles or my dad taste that. Nah. Oh yeah, yeah.
Great. Thank you
All
for
right.
sharing. Thank you, Inez and Julia, for coming on. And thank you.
Oh, thank you.
for-
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And
Likewise.
thank you for staying some extra time and,
Of
answering the
course, I'm
questions.
learning too. I'm learning too. And I have a daughter with special needs. I mean, she's not, I mean, it has nothing to do with celiac, but I was dealing with Marina before you guys. I think there was Marina, and she was so intrigued by it because my daughter is she has a deficiency, and we had to cut the sugar. And people said, the sugar of food. And Marina gave me amazing tips on also the gluten and thought it's helping. It's in what we eat makes who we are. And at the end of the day, gluten-free is just a way to live. And Oggi does not want to project it as a health, and you can't live anymore. And it's all about being healthy. And no, you can still live and have a great pizza for everybody else. So that's why, and I see it with my daughter. That's why I like to hear the dietitian what she has to say, because you work with kids, so it really intrigues me. So
Yeah,
thank
well,
you
we're really proud of our registered dietitian working group, and Celiac Canada is known for its trusted, science-based education. So we're really proud to have someone like Inez be a part of that team and helping us develop the
Yeah.
resources and being a part of something like tonight to make sure that we have some great education awareness and learning about a great product. So, Leah, I think we're wrapping up with our winner.
Oh
Yes.
yes.
I was just gonna say, is there a winner?
Yes, we have a winner. And it was a little bit tricky. There were 5 differences, and the closest answer that we got was 3. And that's from Jeanette here on Zoom. So Jeanette will be in contact with you for getting you your prize.
Correct. Where is she from? If you don't mind me asking, where is she from?
Oh, I'm not too sure. She didn't get to pop it in the
Oh,
chat
okay. No, I
earlier.
was just curious to know. Do we know how many people participated to it?
We'll find out after, yeah, but we'll
Nice.
we'll backtrack with our winner and thank everyone for joining us tonight. And thank you,
Perfect.
Oggi, for letting us bring this evening of education over dinner hour. I'm sure all of us are waiting to have dinner, but hopefully people have been able to join us. The great thing is that we have recorded it, and it has been live on our YouTube, so people can enjoy it evergreen if they feel they want some great pizza tips, and we'll make sure we share it in our upcoming connects. Maybe Leah, see if we can get that in there, let people know that they can kind of watch us after the fact and get some great tips.
For sure.
Perfect. Great.
Have a
All
very
right.
good night, everyone, and bon
Thank
appetito.
you. Bon appetito. Enjoy the pizzas. Okay. Have a good night. We'll
All right.
keep it
Take
on
care.
next week. Okay.
Thank you,
Thanks. Bye.
everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Have a good weekend.
Bye.
Bye.